Yeah, welcome to the 10th episode of the Let's Talk Internet Computer podcast. Today we have with us one of the most influential people in the entire internet computer ecosystem, the co-founder and CEO of Toniq Labs, that among other things have created the largest NFT marketplace on the internet computer, which is called Entrepot, or for example, Stoic, the self-custodial blockchain wallet for internet computer. Thank you so much for being with us, Mr. Bob Bodily.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Really happy to be here and excited to talk.
Great. Yeah, first of all, as always, Bob, tell us a little bit more about yourself, your hobbies.
Yeah, do you want like professional background? Are you looking for the crazy things I like to do?
Yeah, I see on your Twitter you live in Utah with a large family. Also, before you mentioned me, you live in Barcelona during 2 years, for 2
Yep.
years. You play soccer a lot, all the time there. Also, I see your hobbies are chess, disc golf. Maybe we can start for your hobbies, and then we can enter more specifically in your background.
Yeah, I mean, if there are any chess players out there, we should play sometime. I'm not the greatest player in the world. Elo's probably like, 1600 on chess.com. So like good, but
Nice.
not that good. But really, really enjoy it. And really like disc golf. I have played a lot of ultimate frisbee in my life. I played ultimate frisbee for my college team in
Mhm.
university, and traveled around, played other college teams, and then that just led to disc golf. So really, really like disc golf, and yeah, have four kids and live in Utah. I did a PhD in educational technology at BYU. And then from there, went on to work as a data engineer, data scientist for a couple of years for a couple different startups. One of those startups, I started an ed tech company with Jordan last.
Nice.
And it was 2016, 2017 in there. And we just wanted to tokenize it and build it on the blockchain, but it was early. Too early. We wanted what the internet computer is today back in 2017. So didn't end up doing anything blockchain related for that startup. And then we kind of went and did different things. And then I got, once mainnet launch happened, May of 2021, just got sucked in all the
Mhm.
way.
Yeah,
So yeah,
nice.
that's a little bit
Yeah.
about me.
What about me?
Oh, I was just saying that's a little bit about me. I mean,
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Nice,
your
great.
listeners likely already know who you are, but
Yeah. No, no, for sure, for sure. Maybe another episode I can interview to myself.
yeah, good idea.
Yeah, yeah. Great. And yeah, you studied like PhD in institutional technology. For sure. You think your studies help to better understand the technical aspects for the blockchain in general, Web3 in general? You think is now you feel like for sure more comfortable with all the technology things that helps you with the PhD because it's not just a bachelor, it's something like super specifically. Maybe it's not related with blockchain, or maybe yes. Yeah, you can maybe explain a little bit more this part, like the instructional technology, right?
Yeah, yep. So I think a PhD is helpful if you love research, if you love to spend a lot of time diving really, really deep on a specific problem, and you
Hmm.
want to know everything about the problem. And there are some funny graphs or charts where they show like if this circle is the entire if is this circle is everything the entire world knows, then your PhD is like a tiny dot extending that circle, just
Uh-huh.
adding a tiny little bit of knowledge to the world. So I really loved PhD work. I managed a lot of developers during my PhD, building various applications, and I think that was probably the most helpful in being able to understand blockchain technology, is just understanding from a technical perspective how things work. And so
Hmm.
manage uh, lots of teams, and then I do a lot in Python as a data engineer, data scientist, which also helps a lot. And so being able to make calls to canisters, like I love using ICP. I use ICP all the time to do all sorts of canister calls. Jordan Last is building Kybra. Kybra is going to be a Python CDK on the internet computer, so you'll be able to write smart contracts in Python, and that's going to be really, really awesome. Just for me as a Python guy, I think it'll be really fun to spin up all sorts of crazy canisters to just play around and do fun things.
Okay. Also, you use Motoko or?
I can read Motoko. I don't write any Motoko, but at Toniq we are a Motoko shop, so everything we do is Motoko.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, perfect. Bob, you are one of the co-founders of Toniq Labs, the ICP blockchain company that helps users build, launch, and grow NFTs based business on Web3. Can you explain us maybe more for the people that don't know anything about Toniq Labs? What is the philosophy? Also, Toniq Labs, that we launch a lot of different projects, very varied projects on, for example, Entrepot, that as I mentioned before, largest and most trusted NFT marketplace on the internet computer blockchain without gas fees. Yeah, also, for example, the Stoic, Toniq Labs creation, that is self-custodial blockchain wallet. Other strong pillars on Toniq are video games. For example, the NFT mini game Cronic Critters, or the strategy game Rise of the Magni. Yeah, could you explain more about these interesting projects? Maybe like a brief introduction or something?
Yeah, so I think a good way to think about Toniq is we have a foundational layer, kind of like a smart contract protocol layer that we call Exponent. Exponent is like the EXT standard that we use, as well as like the interesting NFT protocol, which is what powers Toniq Earn, as well as other kinds of protocols. So this all sits in kind of our protocol layer, which we call Exponent. And on top of that, like you mentioned, we have a number of different products. We have Marketplace, we have a wallet, we have a Launchpad, then we have other kinds of APIs and other kinds of smart contract extensions that I'd call microservices. And so that's kind of all of our product offerings, at least our core product offerings. You did mention Cronics and Rise of the Magni as well. And then the way I've been pitching Toniq lately is you could imagine a utility layer added across all of our products. This utility layer is interesting because when I think about the future of NFTs, I think there are specific affordances that you get with an NFT, like true digital ownership, and you get standard open API that you can leverage. You have a public registry, and if you take the affordances of NFTs, then you can start to understand what, from a foundational perspective, what is this technology going to do for us? And so I bring all of that up because I think the future of NFTs is utility. That doesn't mean that art can't be an NFT, because I think it can, but that satisfies one particular aspect of utility when there are many. So moving forward into the future, we'll be adding a lot of features to our marketplace, our Launchpad, or our wallet that add value or enable NFT creators to add value to their NFTs through this utility layer. So that's a little bit of kind of the recent explanation that I give people about what Toniq is all about. But that's pretty new. Past couple months, been doing a lot of thinking on the future of Toniq. So.
Okay, great. Also, the team is I just checked the webpage. Stephen Andrews, you, Steven Erickson, and Max Ogles. This on Mac Jab. This is the person, like 5 members now, or is?
Yeah, so we have like 7 full-time probably,
7
and then
full-time?
a couple others, but yeah, that's current size of the team.
Nice, great. Yeah, as you said also on your Twitter account, you are an NFT philosopher. I love it. Instead of instead of Guardiola, you are the Guardiola of the NFTs, right? Yeah, yeah, you love all the utilities, and maybe we can talk after a little bit more about the different utilities on the NFTs. My question is here is how you begin to realize the potential of the NFTs, and how did the idea of Entrepot come about? Because if you start from the beginning, start to build something about NFTs and more like a marketplace is something super huge. Like I'm not pretty sure now how many projects are on Entrepot, more than 150 NFTs, or I'm not pretty sure, but this is something huge. And for manage all the royalties and all the collections, talk with all the artists, and behind the scenes there are a lot of job there. And yeah, maybe you can explain to the audience how you deal with all the things and how you begin to realize the potential of the NFTs. How start the idea of Entrepot also.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess I'll give you kind of the origin story for Toniq. We started building Rise of the Magni, and we wanted 100% on chain. Steven Andrews had done some previous work on Tezos in the Tezos ecosystem, and saw Dfinity, saw what they were doing. This was early 2021, and decided to start building Rise of the Magni on the internet computer. So we moved the back end completely over to the IC for the Discover Hackathon, for the first Discover Hackathon, and Rise of the Magni won that hackathon. And from there, all the little tiles in the Rise of the Magni game are NFTs. They're just non-transferable or soulbound tokens. So NFTs that you can't transfer. And from there, we ended up experimenting with Cronics. And, we did the tip can where you could go in, you could donate, and you could get a Cronic. And from there, we realized, well, people need a place to hold their NFTs. So we built Stoic, and people wanted a place to trade their NFTs. And so we built a marketplace. Initially, it was a marketplace within Stoic. I think you can still find it in there. There's a beta marketplace there in Stoic. But then that spun out into Entrepot. And then we realized that minting NFTs, like launching NFTs, was very painful for a lot of people. And so we created our kind of no-code self-minting tool. And so really it's just been building and then seeing how people react to it. And if it's favorable, then we continue to push and build more. And so, we wouldn't be where we are without an awesome community using our products and being interested in the work we're doing and supporting the internet computer.
Yeah, this is the real mind of an entrepreneur, right? Like start to build and then try an error, and see if the community likes or love it, and then you can go further and build another thing that is helpful for the community. That's amazing story. Yeah. And also, I'm curious to know more about why you decide build on your projects on the internet computer blockchain. There are a lot of blockchains on the ecosystem. Why you choose ICP?
Yeah, if you want to build 100% on chain, you don't really have any other choice. You can't store data. So the choice is probably, do you use Filecoin or Arweave connected with something like Ethereum or Polygon, and maybe you throw in some AWS for your business logic? Like that kind of setup could also work. And that's basically what people are doing on Ethereum and Polygon right now, is they'll store data on IPFS or Arweave, decentralized peer-to-peer storage. And then from there, they will have their NFTs, their collections actually on the blockchain on Ethereum or Polygon or other Solana. But then sometimes you want to make NFTs interactive, or you want to make them dynamic, or you want to change them based on data. And almost in all cases, you end up putting that business logic on Amazon Web Services or Google or whatever. So the nice thing about the Internet Computer Protocol, ICP, is you have storage, compute, and hosting all on the same chain. So you can store your assets in an asset canister. You can store your business logic in your NFT canister. You can host a web application from your canister or from another canister. And having it all co-located on the same blockchain is more seamless and easier from a developer perspective. And it's enabling, meaning you can do more on ICP than you can do in other places. So yeah, definitely an advantage to build on ICP. I don't think it's perfect, and they haven't reached their vision, their 20-year roadmap vision yet. But we're a year and a half in, and so far so good, I think.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, it's exciting. My next question is more regards with the ICP, and you mentioned like there is like something or different things in ICP. Maybe it's like unbeatable compared with other blockchains that ICP is the best, but we have like different areas that a lot of room of improvement, right? Like we have like 20 years roadmap and is the earliest stages, but for sure we have to improve. Of course, it's not perfect, yeah, as you mentioned. And returning also to the subject of NFTs, I would like to know your opinion on the subject of royalties. You wrote a lot on Twitter. You think, in your opinion, the royalties must be like fixed by the artist at the buyer choice, free, or depends a lot of the utility of each NFT? I understand for sure that royalty is essential for the artist, but it's something that has been debated and has generated a lot of controversy on the Twitter and other social media. What is your opinion about the royalties on the NFTs?
Yeah, that's definitely been a hot topic the past couple months as more and more marketplaces decide to do optional creator royalties. I think generally the way that we build at Toniq is we want to give creators options. We want to give them tools to succeed. And I think in the majority of cases, people just want to receive value for the work that they do. So I think there are lots of ways to monetize the work that you do. Royalties is one way, but there are other funding models as well. There are subscription-based models, kind of like a subscription NFT or a SaaS NFT. There are other kinds of taxing models. Most people hate Harburger taxes. Like, I hesitate to even say the word because some people are going to be like, no, that's the worst thing ever. It's a viable funding model for certain kinds of projects. Or maybe you just fund via minting. So you do something like the Pixie team is doing, where you do roadmap-based minting. So they minted 1,500 Pixies, and then they said, when we hit this roadmap milestone, we're going to mint 1,500 more. And then when we reach the next milestone, we're going to mint 1,500 more. We're going to sell 1,500 more. And so you can kind of do milestone-based funding and minting in that way. So there are lots of potential models. Specifically on royalties. First, it's widely accepted that it's basically impossible to enforce creator royalties. And that's just because even if you bake it into the smart contract, that's not enough, because you can always just wrap a token. Wrapping a token is sending a token to some smart contract, and then the smart contract mints an identical token. It's obviously a different collection. It's the wrapped version of the token, but you can't control the wrapper canister or the wrapper smart contract. And so you can get around royalties via wrapping. Not just wrapping, but escrow services and other things like that. So I do think there is a way on the Internet Computer to enforce creator royalties. I've been playing around with it with Steven and a few others, and I think it's possible to enforce creator royalties without, like locking down everything all the way. We're still working on that, seeing if we can make it happen. But that's one option, is let's just enforce creator royalties. For creators that want to enforce royalties, let's give them the option to do that. There might be certain restrictions around the NFT collection, but that's up to the creator to choose how they would like to monetize their work. For utility NFTs or NFTs with any kind of utility, this would be like access-based utility or software-based NFTs, or NFTs that give you access to a portal and discover or something like that. I think the best way to monetize is likely just via a subscription. So think of a subscription NFT, like you buy the NFT to get the base tier of benefits, and then you pay a monthly subscription for the premium benefits on top. And so the only way something like that is going to work is if you have premium content or premium platform features that people are willing to pay for. You have to provide enough value that people are willing to pay, 5 or 10 ICP a month for the value that you're providing. But I think that model makes a lot of sense for utility-based NFTs. And then there are other royalty models as well. So I think our standpoint is let's create 3 or 4 or 5 different ways that creators can monetize their projects, and let's let creators choose how they want to do it. If they want to enforce royalties, great. If they want to do optional royalties, great. But I do view it as the creator should be able to decide how they monetize the value that they're giving to the world. Yeah. And so, like, buyer choice, I mean, maybe interesting, but I don't think it really addresses the problem. I think it's just kind of the easiest thing that existing marketplaces could do right now without just, getting rid of royalties altogether. So, but
that's good. That's good that you are like thinking the different options to have the artist to have the flexibility to choose whatever they want to do, like for monetize the content and the NFTs, not just like one thing, one option, and that's it. And this is something cool and pretty disruptive, right? Because as you mentioned, the easiest way is like, okay, no royalties, free, or just fix it and that's it. But this is something like pretty like disruptive, pretty new. Yeah, that's cool. And also about analyze the utility of the tokens. Each project provide different options for the utility. I love one photo that you have on your Twitter. It's like a pyramid about an analysis about the last 150 or 180 different projects of NFTs. Yeah. And for people that is not too much familiar for the NFTs and for the utility or for the tokens, that's cool. Like you divide it in art and collectibles, for example, cards or rare items. Also, like other type of NFTs that are beneficial for the holders, NFT drops, or like have like early access or maybe discounts. Also NFTs that you can use, for example, music, videos, games, and also have access to the real world. Even NFTs that you can transform to other cases or other use cases, copyright, education, credentials, or tickets, events. My question is, how do you see the evolution of these NFTs in 5 years? If you think it's something even more disruptive and innovative compared with now is coming. And also, yeah, if you can explain a little bit more about these utilities.
Yeah, so the first iteration of the framework was the pyramid that you saw. Since then, I've spent quite a bit of time thinking around utility NFTs, and Max Ogles and I put together the next generation utility framework. And so we divide up NFT utility into 6 main categories that kind of fit into 3 buckets. One is ownership, one is access, and one is kind of the intangible utility category. So within ownership, one is just gifts. Gifts is the category one. Gifts is like airdrops, discounts, claims, free stuff, etc. The other category within ownership is ownership. Ownership meaning like real estate, like you can actually own something in the real world. Or ownership like you can own music, or you can own text, blog posts, or you can own a book. Ownership of real digital and physical assets. That's the ownership group. Then within the access group, we have digital and physical access, like a key card to get into events, or a digital card to get into applications or other kinds of access. NFTs are frequently used in this way for digital and physical access. The other category within access is verification. Verification meaning you're providing access to your data or your information to others. And so verification has a lot to do with verifiable credentials, or being able to verify that, yes, I did this thing because this NFT is in my wallet, or something like that. So tons of different interesting verification applications. And then finally, the last two categories were the intangibles, which one is culture. Culture, like you feel belonging, you have an emotional attachment to the art, you feel part of a community, you feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself. And then beyond culture, there's, let's see, the final category was privilege. Privilege is like you have a right, like rights to do something. So the right to vote, the right to govern an application. Anyway, so those are kind of the six main utility categories. And if you think about the future of NFTs, I think the future of NFTs will fall in these six areas, which is why I felt like it was important to bring those up, because that's how I view the future of NFTs right now, is I think we're going to see innovation in those six areas, primarily because the affordances of an NFT lends itself well to those use cases.
That's cool. Nice. That's amazing. Your explanations about the different utilities for the NFTs. Also, do you think that now, like, more and more large companies and investors taking advantage about that token revolution, this is something you think is going to increase even more, like more and more people is start to invest in tokenization and NFTs and all related with these things, right? This is the future. What is your opinion about that? About also the big companies and the big investors in the ecosystem to invest in tokenization and NFTs?
Yeah, I think if you think about it from a technology adoption perspective, there's that technology adoption curve, like the bell curve, where you have innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, laggards. And we've definitely seen innovators and a little bit of early adopters that have jumped on the crypto train. And the key to any new technology, there have been tons of terrible or now failed technologies that received a lot of hype, like crypto has, and tokenization has. And so the idea is, what about this is a fad, and what about this is a trend for the future? And I think that's an interesting question. Like, what is hype, what is speculation, and what is real substantive, game-changing, foundational technology change that's going to change the world? And I think we have both. It's probably some massive amount of hype, like 90% hype or 95% speculation or something like that. But the 5 to 10% substance, I think, is significant. And there will be, people refer to the .com era being now for blockchain. And while it's completely different, I do see it as the people that can build valuable solutions, build valuable businesses, leveraging blockchain technology to create better solutions for real world users. I think those are the people that are going to win. It's not about the tech. It's not about blockchain or crypto or NFT. It's about leveraging the technology to provide a better solution for the end user, which is just, a normal internet user. And if we can find a way to not talk about the tech, but talk about the features that the tech enables, then go and draw in the Web2 crowd. I think that's how blockchain wins.
Great. Okay. Yeah, my last question is a small questionnaire. Maybe you can answer or not. It's like 3 questions. Is that the first one is, what is your favorite NFT on Entrepot? You cannot say Motoko Mets. The second one is, what is your favorite dApp that you use every day in Internet Computer? And the third one is, what is a new application that you see like a lot of potential, a huge potential, and you think maybe can be one of the great ones of the ICP ecosystem?
Okay, lots of questions. First one,
Yeah.
favorite NFT? I'm just scrolling Entrepot right now. There's very rarely, I run into a collection where I identify with the art to the point where I can't not buy it. It's only happened like 3 times in my life so far. The first time, that was for the Elios collection, ELEOS collection on Entrepot. Really talented artist, put together a really kind of striking piece, and I just really wanted to own it. So that was the first time where I bought an NFT because I had, you could call it an emotional connection or attachment with the NFT. So that's one of my favorites. It's a lesser known collection. It's only a collection of 55. It's only done like 370 ICP in volume. Like, it's a small collection, but definitely one of my favorites.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, second question, your favorite dApp on an Internet Computer that you normally use every day or almost every day?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be on the tooling side, which, I mean, there are amazing dApps on the Internet Computer, but ones I use every single day without fail, probably NFT Geek and IC Scan and ICPi. ICPi is a SDK, so it's not actually an app, but those are tools that I use all the time because they're like the NFT core of the IC.
Great. Yeah, and the last one is, if you like realize or like you see any like new application that you think is on the early stages, but you can see the huge potential, and maybe in a years or in a months can become one of the greatest, one of the biggest ones on the ecosystem.
Yeah. My answer is probably, again, not fair to all the people building consumer applications, but my favorite are on the infrastructure side. So IC Pipeline is doing some amazing work, allowing developers to go from staging to dev to prod. And that's really exciting to me because it's going to make my job easier. And I also really like what Internet Computer Services is doing. Similarly with, I think Code and State is going to do something like this too, but basically just building ways for developers to easily create and manage and leverage tech on the Internet Computer, kind of like a Amazon Web Services kind of dashboard experience. Yeah,
awesome.
Really excited about the infrastructure plays.
Great. Sounds super good. Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Bob, for your time and for sharing with us all the information. Is so valuable, I think, for the audience. And please keep going with your amazing job and contribution on Twitter and on the crypto community. Also with your threads and your thoughts, which I think are essential to continue improving the ICP ecosystem. Thank you so much, Bob, for your time today.
Yeah, really happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, see you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.